As someone who's been gaming for almost 2 decades now, multiplayer games haven't been the same as they used to be, or I should say, it's not as big of a priority as it was back then. Multiplayer games used to feel like an event. Now they feel like a chore. Every once in a while, a multiplayer game comes along and lights a fire back into the genre that takes the world by storm and reminds you why you fell in love with it in the first place. You've seen it with Fortnite, Apex Legends, Overwatch, even Warzone. But for me, that game was Marvel Rivals. Growing up in an era where you experienced peak multiplayer set a huge bar for not just me, but for other gamers as well. Halo was the pinnacle of FPS shooters, Battlefield was starting to become a rival to Call of Duty, Gears of War was peak, and COD was at a point where it earned the spot of being the most popular multiplayer game. But like many great franchises, having yearly releases, milking a product, and losing multiple key workers, they will inevitably start to lose their identity and forget why they became who they are. I think my lack of interest in multiplayer became a thing once I made the switch from Xbox to PlayStation. All of my friends were on Xbox, and that's where I did the majority of my multiplayer gaming, but as I got older, I wanted to experience something new. I wanted to expand my portfolio in gaming, and that was by playing all the exclusives I never got to play because I was strictly Team Xbox. But I was never part of the whole console wars thing though. I didn't want to ultimately abandon my friends, so I made a compromise by playing exclusives on PlayStation and third-party games on Xbox because, crossplay didn't become a thing yet. As time went on and Xbox continued to decline in gaming, that led me to just say screw it and dedicate all of my resources into PlayStation. But as I mentioned earlier, PlayStation was only for single player games, and since I was still in that mindset of only playing multiplayer with my friends, it resorted to me going back to my single player days. But I still had that itch to go online every now and then. With games like Dragon Ball FighterZ and Modern Warfare 2019, as many hours as I spent on that, it just didn't feel the same. But that was soon changed due to a game called Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals is a hero shooter just like Overwatch, and just like Overwatch, it took the world by storm. I have a lot of experience with Overwatch, and just like Marvel Rivals, it's free to play. Now, as someone who loves superheroes and stuff, it was a clear no-brainer for me to give this game a try. I played it the week it dropped because the group chat kept talking about it, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a bad time for me because at the time I was becoming obsessed with Cyberpunk and all of Night City. But in January, I fully locked in with the game, and man was it a good time. You know that feeling of when you see multiple memes from a certain fandom and then you finally get to experience it and everything just starts to click? That's exactly how I felt. From the Bucky memes, the BBL Avengers, the whole nine. Just being a part of this community has been extremely fun and also extremely annoying. If you were to guess how many hours I put into this game, what would you assume? 10, 30, 50? I hate to break it to you, but it's been 100 plus hours. This game got me moving like peak Call of Duty when you kept on prestiging back to back. What I found so shocking about the game was how quick I became obsessed with it. Spending every day playing it, learning the maps and playstyles of each character was truly a blast. My feed is nothing but Marvel Rivals clips. Most of the time I'm watching YouTube videos of other content creators talking about the game or spectating other players. Some of my favorite content creators are Clouded Rios, Flats, Tim the Tap Man, only for his Marvel Rivals videos, True Vanguard, and many more. But my personal favorites are Flank Metra and XXBY because they make funny Marvel Rivals videos. From trolling to nothing but Jeff the Shark memes, their channels are completely hilarious and a good time. When I figured out what role I was meant to play, my life became better and worse. Now, I'm not going to be all personal about my life, but I'm someone who cares about other people's well-being more than myself sometimes. If they are taken care of, then so am I. You probably figured out what class I play just from that description alone, but if not, then I play as a support character. I'm a cloak and dagger main, which means I'm a bunny hopping black man. Or better yet, I'm a Lord Bunny Hopper.
I appreciate you and I love you, but you are no use to me with that white woman on your arm, brother.
I was already a support main in Overwatch, so all I had to do was figure out which character was perfect for me, and that ended up being them. Man, when I tell you, being a support main is not for the weak, it is not for the weak. You either carry the team to victory, or you get blamed for being a bad healer, with the infamous GG heals in the chat. As time progressed, it almost seemed like the developers have beef with healers or something, because the only characters that get any type of love in the game are the duelists. Look at Daredevil. This man can cook your entire support system in 2 seconds if you come across the right player. Iron Fist has been a demon since Season 0. Bucky's armed and dangerous. Star-Lord's legendary. Blade has 1,000 cuts. And what do we have? Jeff the Shark eating everybody up like he's Kirby. Thankfully, the developers finally broke the duelist curse because they gave us Gambit. Even though Gambit kind of plays as a healer and a duelist, so it's kind of a win-win for both parties, but more specifically for us healers. The thing I love and hate about Marvel Rivals is the characters. There are a lot of characters that you want to try out, either simply because they are your favorite character, or maybe you just want to diversify your portfolio instead of relying on one character. My favorite character is Captain America and Black Panther. Do you think I started off screaming a symbol on the battlefield, or making my opponents tremble before Bass? Hell no. It was just us against the world for about a couple weeks. But as I progressed through the game, I started to expand my arsenal once Mr. Fantastic joined the fight. Hell, I think I enjoyed being a duelist more than a healer sometimes, to be honest. My big three in this game are Cloak and Dagger, Mr. Fantastic, and Captain America, with Human Torch as a runner-up. When you look at my big three, you can make one assumption about me. I'm a bunny hopper, an Uncle Tom, and a smart dumb nigga. Nah, let me stop joking before somebody actually takes that serious. When I'm not playing as my big three, I've been expanding my bag. I try out other characters after every 3 games, and I've been having fun with it so far. The characters I've been liking lately is Wolverine and Switchlord, so I hope to master them soon, and hope to try out Gambit as well. My time with Marvel Rivals has been a great journey for me because I finally had a game I could play with my friends, and I thank the developers for it. When I locked in with this game, it's like I time traveled back to the multiplayer days. The more I played the game, the more obsessed and competitive I got. If you've been gaming for a long time, then you know that's a recipe for disaster. This game was draining the hell out of me because it was messing with my sanity. It's not like I was bad at the game and getting cooked or something, but you know when you come across those certain games where it's really close and then you get holed by the other team? Or better yet, if you play the game, then you know this feeling right here. You're playing Conquest or escorting the vehicle. You win the first round, no problem. Dominate the majority of the second round, and you're at 99%. But then around that 30-second to 1 minute marker, all of a sudden, the team flips the switch and starts cooking you in order to force an overtime. They capture the point and all of a sudden are almost catching up to you. You're so locked in trying to recapture the point that you don't even realize that your entire team is cooked and there's no health packs around. You lose that round and then lose the next one because it's like your teammates didn't want to adapt like the other team did. I swear, those are the worst feelings in the game. Thankfully, I never reached a point where I got cooked so bad in Marvel Rivals that I blamed it on women like a certain person on TikTok.
You stupid.
I've played this game so much that it got to the point where it wasn't even fun anymore, but it felt like a job. Each win felt like I was playing in the NBA and trying to reach the highest level. But despite the draining moments, there were a lot of fun times in the game. I remember being in a random quick match where our team ran 4 healers and 1 tank. We literally was playing Protect the President and we dominated the game from start to finish. We all laughed at it and it was a good time. Another moment was where me and my friends were playing ranked and we held the other team at their spawn point and they never moved the vehicle. So when it was our turn, as soon as the match started, we won the game because all we had to do was move our vehicle to an inch. I also remember trapping multiple teams at the checkpoint while we were capturing the objective, and man, was that a good time. But one of my fondest memories with Marvel Rivals was on February 1st. If you're an NBA fan, then you know what I'm talking about. Me and my friends had just finished playing Marvel Rivals, and as I'm getting ready to go to sleep, I look at my phone and it says Luka Doncic was traded to the Mavericks. I hit the group chat and started going crazy since I'm a Lakers fan. The trade was so crazy that my body shut down and I got sick. I'm not even capping on that. I remember playing this game so much every day that when I finally took a break from it, it felt like I left a toxic relationship. When I took a break from it, I was like, okay, I can go one day without it. Let's see how long I can keep this up. Before I knew it, I went 4 months without playing it. Best decision, to be honest, because I got back to playing other games. Actually, I think it was because of Expedition 33, now that I think about it. During that time frame, I think it was because of Expedition 33. But my time away from the game allowed me to appreciate it more, because now I'm back on my BS with it because the GOAT Cyclops is coming and I can't wait to see what his arsenal is going to be like. I truly am thankful for Marvel Rivals, not just because it restored my love for multiplayer, but it showed what happens when you deliver a good product. Very similar to Battlefield 6 recent now. I love everything about the game. The multiple cosmetics, the variety of characters, all the thick women in the game, and how people react to certain skins from them.
That nigga bid said go back, make a bid. Hey, these niggas.
Damn, what the?
That's what I said, bro.
Fucking with that, Luna.
Nigga, you not finna sell our team for that shit.
Nah,
Nigga, you
Luna's
stand with Cloak.
good. Who is this?
Who is
Stand
that?
with Cloak, bro.
Damn, who is this? Damn. That's Psylocke? Who's this?
I wouldn't be surprised if this game sneaks in and wins Multiplayer of the Year or some kind of award at the Game Awards. Low-key though, I think it would be funny if this game was nominated for Game of the Year like Overwatch was back in 2016 and it somehow wins it. Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you, boy. I'd be pissed if that happens, because Expedition 33 is the definitive Game of the Year, and not just my opinion, but a lot of other people agree with that as well. If you played Marvel Rivals, let me know in the comments, and let me know how you feel about the game and what characters are you looking forward to in the future. Or do you think this game's gonna die down like most people are already saying? Let me know in the comments. But that's all I got for y'all. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and comment. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.